why you block the very healing you crave. It was the third time I'd canceled that coffee date. And nothing major had happened. My calendar wasn't even overloaded. I wasn't sick. I just couldn't make myself go. And this was someone I wanted to reconnect with, someone I'd cried about losing, someone I swore that I missed. I'd prayed for restored connection. I'd journaled about it. And I even told my mentor I wanted community, but when the time came to actually show up, I flaked again. And sitting on my couch that morning, phone in hand, text half written with another, "I'm sorry," a quiet whisper in the back of my mind said, "If this is what you say you want, why do you keep pushing it away?" And that question gutted me because it wasn't just about coffee. It was about everything. The job I kept saying I was ready for, but never applied to. The relationship I swore I wanted to heal, but never initiated a hard conversation. The peace I said I was craving, but kept avoiding with busyness, scrolling, late night snacking, overworking, overthinking, overeating. I realized I wasn't being sabotaged. I was sabotaging myself. And friend, maybe you've felt that too at some time in your life. You want to feel close to God, but you avoid prayer or church. You want a healthy relationship, but you keep going back to someone who breaks your heart over and over. You say you want peace, but coincide with drama. You want rest, but you stay super busy. You want healing, but you keep running from things that would actually help you heal. So, this is what self sabotage looks like. It's not always loud or obvious. In fact, sometimes it's as subtle as ghosting the friend who makes you feel seen, or picking a fight the moment things get calm, or distracting yourself right when you're about to feel something real. It's not about being lazy or weak or broken beyond repair. It's about being scared because what we say we want often requires us to change, to actually be seen, to show up, to be soft, to be honest. And that kind of vulnerability feels like danger when your nervous system has spent years equating safe with self protection. So today I want to talk about that, about why we block the very healing that we crave, why we push away what we say we want, and what it looks like to stop that, not with shame, not with hustle, but with understanding, with grace, with real tools that work with your brain, your story, and your heart, because you're not the only one doing this. And I did it for way too long. And you're definitely not alone in wanting out of this pattern. So if you've ever found yourself asking, why do I keep doing this? This conversation is for you. So let's unpack it together and get right into it. I used to think I just had bad luck with follow through, that I was the kind of person who was a great starter but not a finisher. I started them with gusto and just couldn't follow through. I told myself, well, discipline just wasn't my thing. And that maybe I was too emotional, too inconsistent, too much of a feeler to ever really get traction in life. I'd get these powerful bursts of motivation. I'd make the vision board, buy the journal, sign up for the program, schedule the therapy, open up to a friend, and then quietly, slowly, I'd start to back away. I'd reschedule the call, let the routine slip, miss one season, then two. Then I would just stop checking the messages altogether and isolate, close the journal up mid-sentence, tell myself, I'll get back to it next week. But I never did. And the worst part, every time I backed away from something good, I felt this deep, aching shame. Like I'd proven myself right. See, I'd whisper to myself, you always do this. You can't change. It was terrible. But the truth was, I didn't understand the pattern I was in. I thought I was failing because I lacked willpower. And what I didn't realize was that I was protecting myself from something I didn't yet have language for. I remember one moment that cracked it open for me. It was after a season with a coach that I'd been working with, and we just had a huge breakthrough, like tears streaming, heart exposed, truth landing kind of moment. And she said, this is a beautiful beginning. I want to challenge you to do one small thing this week to honor your breakthrough. And I said, yes. And I meant it. And I wrote it in my day timer. But instead of doing that one thing, I disappeared. I didn't respond to her follow-up message. I avoided my inbox. I canceled the next session with a really vague excuse. And let me share with you right now, I have a friend I dearly love who I know is suffering from abortion trauma. And frankly, I'm one of those people in her life that sees her. And I've been getting that same treatment. I just keep sending love and sending prayer because I believe she's not ready to just be straight with some things. So the super busy and the last minute cancels and those kind of things, I understand because that was me. For a few days, I convinced myself that I was just busy. And one night, sitting on the floor with my planner open and untouched, I felt the familiar tightness in my chest, that heaviness that always comes when I abandon myself. And I heard the voice again. If this is what you want, why do you keep pushing it away? Well, friends, that was the moment I realized I wasn't sabotaging because I didn't care. I was sabotaging because I did care. Because letting something good in, letting healing in, meant I had to believe I was worthy, safe in it, held by it. And deep down, that felt too risky. Because what if I tried and failed? What if I opened up and got hurt again? What if I did change and then lost everything familiar? Science shares that we are more addicted to whatever's going on in our life than change. So most of us have heard that the brain center, the amygdala in the brain, it perceives change as a threat. So we'll even stay in horrifying situations rather than change. Why? Because they're familiar. So suddenly the pattern made sense. I wasn't lazy. I was afraid. I was afraid that healing would cost me the numbness that kept me going, the numbness that had gotten so familiar. I was afraid that peace would make me let go of the hustle that made me feel valuable in life, and afraid that letting love in meant letting go of my story that I'd built around about being too broken for love. And once I saw that, I couldn't unsee it. The pattern wasn't about my inability. It was about my self-protection. And when I realized that, it changed everything. Because when you realize your sabotage is really a survival strategy, you can stop hating yourself for it and start healing it. So if you're in that place, tired of starting over, mad at yourself for quitting, secretly afraid that your healing will slip through your fingers again, I want to say this to you gently and clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. You've just been surviving the best way you knew how. But now it's time to learn a new way. And the first step, naming the pattern, just like I had to. Self-sabotage isn't the enemy of healing. It's the bodyguard of your deepest fears. And that's the shift we need to make right here, right now. Because if you've spent years calling yourself lazy, inconsistent, or just bad at follow through, I want to offer you a new lens. I beat myself up with that stuff for years, and those voices of criticism are agonizing. Self sabotage isn't you failing. Again, it's your nervous system protecting. So let's define it clearly. Self sabotage is any behavior, pattern, or thought process that consciously or unconsciously blocks your own growth, connection, or healing, even when you say you want it. It looks like this. You want intimacy, but you push people away the minute they get too close. You crave rest, but you overwork and overschedule until you practically collapse. And you long for peace, but you stir up drama or take part in it or worry or chaos the moment things start to feel calm. And you say you're ready to heal, but you ghost the therapist, bail on the retreat, or forget the follow through on the work you said you would do. And not because you're reckless, but because at some point, safety got tied to sabotage. You see, the brain's primary job is not growth, it's survival. And when you've lived through trauma, loss, shame, had an abortion, your brain learns what's predictable is safe, even when that predictable is pain. So if chaos was your childhood, calm can feel foreign. If abandonment was familiar, love feels dangerous. So your body may literally flinch at goodness. And your brain, it'll create obstacles to keep things, quote, normal. And you may find yourself stuck in that loop again. Not because you don't want more, but because more feels threatening. That's the science. And in the next video, we're going to talk about how it actually feels to walk towards something good. I would love to hear your heart in the comments below, and I do my best to answer them. We'd love you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the amazing community of women on this path to thrive. And if no one told you today, just remember you're beloved.